me start with the generative AI, because I heard a good way to think of it. And so when we talk about generative AI, there is a huge data set that's being used. And then from that, you create this engine that can then be used through prompting or through discussion, if you want to think of it that way, or a chatbot to get to an answer. And so I always like to think there's fuel, there's engine, then there's a vehicle. So there's a large language model, there's the pre-trained transformer, and then the application that connects to that. So ChatGPT, GPT-4, and then a data set behind the scenes. When you think of machine learning or, all of the AI that you've heard in the past, a lot of times all we're trying to do is label things. In other words, in the past, we would look at a bunch of pictures of dogs and not dogs, and then we'd be able to pre-train a model to be able to identify if something's a dog or not a dog. That's what we used to be able to do. Generative AI is we do this same stuff. We still train a model with dogs and not dogs. But then in the end, when we're the generative AI, instead of labeling something just a dog or not a dog, what we're actually doing is creating a new dog. And so that's what we're doing when we're creating a prompt, and then it gives us a new story. So new text or a new image in Midjourney. It's generative. So it's creating new based on the data that's sitting in its large language model. How does that sound? That when I heard it said to me that way, that made a lot of sense. Shauna, what do you think? How do you usually think of it?
Yeah, and I would add to that what you said there, but also that you can interact with it. So
Yes.
whereas like right now when you go to like a Google search, for example, you get your data, and then if you want something else, you have to retype the whole thing. But now we're talking about something we can interact with. So if that dog comes up and you're like, oh, I like it, but I really wanted, in my mind, it was a brown dog and not a black dog, or so, you can make those adjustments and, things like that. And so that is the real power there, being able to ask that second and third question and not have to repeat yourself.